All right, welcome back. Decision Games, Campaigns in Europe, Volume 1, Drive on Leningrad. Always say this will be a short video, but they never end up that way. This is going to be the Russian turn 6. I've got up here the end of the German turn. And we did end with the German panzers getting to the outskirts of Leningrad. And the forming defensive line here they got behind, so I don't know how good this is going to be here. So again, disclaimer, I'm using a Notebook LM here to pull in oh, here we go, hold on. Yeah, I've gone ahead and basically created a notebook, pulled in all of the Campaign in Europe rules as well as the errata as we have it now, which allows me to ask questions, which I've done here a lot to start this one. But then potentially I can bookmark stuff, which I did do. Get me my detailed sequence of play, which I follow. The good thing about this is with any AI, you gotta, do you trust it? And if you go over any of these references, this is actually the text of the game. It's a PDF, but it converts it to text, but still, this is reading the actual rules, so you can validate. And if you want to dig further, you can click on that and it'll jump over. So I think this is good. So to start out, I did have some questions. Asked about the Finnish border. Must be occupied as zone of control of the Soviet Union until the game turn Leningrad falls. After that, who cares? I mean, for the Soviets. And even if Axis forces attacked across the Soviet-Finnish border, still required to maintain. So you do here, I've done this, but now it's Zoc, so I think I can spread these guys out and at least squeeze out 1, 3, 4. If not the second one, I think if I shift this guy up here, or I could shift him here, and that puts a Zoc here. I think that fits the intent, and then I just need a guy here and a guy here. So that would hopefully free up these 2, 3, 4s. So we'll see about that. Then I asked about Leningrad. Leningrad, there's a special rule when it is cut off that it can't. All right, slight interruption there. Yeah, I was talking about how many reinforcements you can place in Leningrad once it's cut off. And it is cut off here. This Panzer Brigade Division, actually. Oh, it's not Panzer, it's Panzer Grenadier. Pushed forward, cut the rail here. So, according to the rules there, they're only allowed now to place one as opposed to infinite number of reinforcements here. So that does kind of limit how fast this can build up here. Because I could have put all the reinforcements here and distributed them. And you'll see later I wanted to attack this guy, and I just, well, I did, but I didn't generate. If I could have placed all the reinforcements here, could have done that, but you know, the rules say no. Yeah, and there's the special rules. This is pretty handy. Hover over it, you see that too. Did ask about printed fortifications. Printed fortifications become not intact anymore when an enemy unit enters. So the other thing the German advance did was basically destroy all these three. Right there. They're gone. Because they pushed behind them and did it, which is a bummer. They could have used these. Even if they're retaken, according to here, the rules, they don't come back. So I started putting German control markers on them as they're destroyed. I think I put, yeah, there's one. There's one. These are still, well, no, I got most of them, but look later. So that was an important rule. There's the Leningrad rule. I kept asking the Leningrad rule. I guess qualifications of it. Asked about one strategic rail, and it's literally 1 for 1. So all the reinforcements can go. Yeah, they get 10 every turn, and it doesn't matter how big they are. So they'll at least be able to rail to here, here, and here for the remaining reinforcements. I'm just going to put one in here, so we'll see that too. So pretty handy. And again, if you need to check its work, you can always hover over it, and that's the actual source text. And if I click on it, it actually jumps to the source. The only downside is it doesn't maintain its PDF format, but this is the text. So you can check its work. So pretty handy here. I'll keep this up. So anyway, enough said there. I have made some mistakes here. There. Gain 1 German RP per game turn for Riga and Leningrad if access control. Well, they've had Riga for a few turns. So I think this turn I do count the 1. So I've kind of shortchanged the Germans there, but more importantly, I've totally shortchanged the Soviets starting the July 2A. I don't know what 2A means. Get 2 RP each game turn if Leningrad, so yeah, at least 2, 4, 6, 8. And we're in August. I didn't move that down. So yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 RPs could have been used. So again, this game then is more a learning game of the system. Then the other key thing I don't have here is, I think in the last video, is supply for units. I was thinking units had to be supplied from depots and or headquarters, or you can be on a port, or you can get air transport. But actually, units can be in supply. I saw it last time if they're on a friendly rail hex or adjacent to it. I think we saw that last time with the Germans, and that does make a difference. Yeah, this rail head's here because this guy has no zone of control, Brandenburger. But that means you don't necessarily need headquarters, and I was playing at least over here. That basically I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, that's something else to file away, because supply isn't drastic. You're not going to start automatically losing steps and be auto-eliminated, but it does reduce your effectiveness. In the defense, you get a 1 shift because you're out of supply for the enemy. And if you attack, you automatically lose a step. So it's and you can't move as fast. So again, trying to philosophical view supply as not so much, end all be all, the end of the world, but reduced capability, potential reduced losses. So, all right, so much for this being a short one here. I just wanted to cover the things I've noticed. We'll go ahead and look at the Soviet reinforcement here. Let me pause it. So I can place 1 reinforcement. These only cost 1 to build. These KV-1s, I guess I'll call them now. Actually, I think there was a KV-1 factory in Leningrad at the time too. So I placed 1 guy here, and that's all I'm allowed to. I could have placed all of them there, but then I went back and I built. I'm going to keep it zoomed in. I basically burned a bunch of RPs for this. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. These are reinforcements. Actually, if you look at the Soviet setup card, they got all these guys. Just like the Germans, they got all these guys this turn, and I rolled for them. And unfortunately, well, you don't see them, but I did get a handful of units here, but most of them are spread out later in the month. That's not very helpful, but so this is a combination of rebuilt units, these reduced strength guys, and then the other 3 I think were reinforcements that came in this turn. So they're all on a rail hex. They're going to do strategic rail. That's why I asked about that. But the Soviets have 10, and they're going to rail 6. So that's what we're going to see here for the reinforcement phase. So the only really big thing is dropping. Could only drop 1 unit. I decided to go with the KV-1s just because of the defensive shift, and the other units were all strength 2 anyhow also. So, yep, that's about all they can do for their reinforcement phase. They're going to do a move fight again. Call that out. We can pop over to the sequence of play. Coming down here. Yeah, reinforcements sequence, move fight, HQ mode. I hope this guy's static. I feel kind of, yeah, he is, 040. I feel kind of stupid if he was mobile the whole time. Yeah, the other Northwest HQ, it got blown away the first turn. I built it back. It got blown away again. But that's when I kind of thought you had to be in range of a headquarters, and really, well, depending on where the railhead is, you know, you can be in supply just on a friendly rail hex or adjacent to it. So then we would go to the movement phase here. So let me go ahead and pull that up. I don't think yeah, that's the R&R. Let me pull up that. Okay, the big moves bring these guys up strategic rail. These guys, this guy I put here, because I want to put a ZOC here. I'm going to attack this guy. He's out of range. They've got no attack air power left, the Germans, and headquarters cannot provide support. And that is effectively for the German a clear hex, because he doesn't get the printed fortification, and he's out of supply. Now he is across a river. Really wish I could have gotten somebody here, gotten concentric and gotten rid of the river shift, but I can only rail up to the railhead. So these guys, and like I said, I put this guy here so that if I get lucky and get a retreat, I can force a step loss just by going into ZOC. You may get destroyed. Then the other movement, yeah, I railed up that guy there. This guy was in Luki. It seems like a great position, but if you'll notice, even though these guys are out of supply, they got 3 movement. You round up, and this guy could have gone 1, 2, 3, and this guy could have gone 1, 2, 3. Boom! This guy would have been concentric, surrounded. So decided to pull back and prevent that, and hopefully this guy will get a chance to go to full strength next turn. We'll see how far these guys go. Kind of using the swamps here. Unfortunately, this guy can turn the corner. Well, he can only go that far because he hits the swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, gosh, whatever. He'll be way out of supply. And that'll cut the supply up this river. Great. But I wasn't going to... Yeah, no matter what I do, he's going to put ZOC on it. I can't... From the rail line, I can't stop him because this one goes away. So if I went here, there'd be ZOC here, but he could still 1, 2, 3, 4. I do not know what terrain that is. I have to look at that. I'll look at that during the German turn. I'm going to go ahead and let this ride. So, oh, but the big thing I also did was, notice now I shifted this guy. I got ZOC here, spread out, ZOC. I got stuck with 2 here because this guy was here. He had to leave and then re-enter, and couldn't get across here. If he could, he would have swept over here, and I would have pulled another 3, 4 down, but couldn't do it. So this is kind of extending. Maybe I'm pushing the rolls, but I feel that counts. That's a ZOC here. It cuts it off. You know, in theory, I'll just let it ride. I guess if I rules lawyered this, I'd force it to stay there. But that allowed me to pull a 3, 4 that was here. 1, 2, 3, 4 into Leningrad. So, and then what we're going to do is do an attack on this guy and hope for the best. Now, the defender gets -1 for the minor river, but they're out of supply, so that is +1. So that goes away. So there's no shift for that. No air power left. HQ not in supply, can't do support. So it's just a matter of how many can I get here. And I can get 1 for the KV1. 1 more because they're in supply. That's 2. And then I can burn 1 RP for 3 shifts for a headquarters support. So that gives us, let's take a look at that. 3 shifts off, and it's unfortunately, I wish I got the other 3, 4 down there, but the best I got is 5 to 3. So I start out at 1 to 1, and I get a 3 shift. 1, 2, 3. So it's not quite 3 to 1, but it's here. 1 is the worst roll. Exchange. Unfortunately, this guy does have another step, so that won't do it. But if I roll one of these 2, who knows? Maybe I reopen the rail line, maybe I don't. And we'll see in the next one what the roll was. Actually, it was a 2, so it was an exchange. So They held out, but let's go ahead and see what the end of the turn looks like for the Soviets. All right, here's the Soviet combat phase, 250 to 299, doing ground assault, roll a 2, exchange, bummer. 2-6, he goes, yeah, he gets reduced. Kind of wish he was one step, so he held out. Too bad. And the heavy armor went away. I think that's true. Because if you use heavy armor in an attack, heavy armor in attack, who takes? Let's see if AI can show itself off. Let's see what it says here. I think I got it right. According to the rules, the owning player always determines which units take losses. However, dictates which units take a first step on a particular combat result. If a heavy tank provides a combat shift while the attacker is using mobile ground unit, the attacker must eliminate the heavy tank unit. Additionally, if a heavy tank participates in combat and the owning player chooses to eliminate elite unit steps to ignore a retreat result, the heavy tank. So the heavy tank didn't have to take it, but it doesn't matter. The heavy tank will take it because I want to keep the 3-4. So yeah, we did. So I guess in that case, no, you don't. The heavy tank doesn't necessarily take it in a normal ground assault. Yeah, nice rules clarification, I guess. There we go. There's the actual rule. A maximum of 1 shift per side per combat may be gained present combat shift using mobile ground. The attacker must eliminate. Okay, it didn't provide one. Or the only time you lose it is for a mobile attack and trying to prevent retreat. So I could have kept it, but it doesn't matter. I didn't. I want the 3-4 here. I don't want him reduced yet. Well, that's okay. I mean, we get 2L for this, and we can ignore retreat results. So I think we're good. So there we go. That's the end of the Russian turn. And again, I've done enough mess ups that maybe the extra RPs from the Russians could have kept them away longer. I don't know. I could go back and review, and I'm still kind of this Finnish thing as a. It's almost like I'd want to fall back here and just abandon the border, and then just sit on the other. Put a few units here as a severe and just say, "Go ahead, Finns, just take it." And I already know the rules stop you after that. I just don't know here. In one sense, I could have done this earlier and gotten that guy up there, but he probably would have been destroyed. So maybe this is the right time for him to get into Leningrad, and maybe next turn possibly get this 2-4 down here. I think right there. Then I could extend this guy one here. No. Anyway, maybe get this extra 3-4 down here. Along with rebuilding the KV-1 again, which I'm going to be able to do. So that's it for the Russian turn, the Soviet turn. And when we come back, we'll see how the Germans respond. Should have mentioned this up front. I'm just curious if you got this far. Feedback. I listen to a lot of other of these videos on YouTube, and people got to get summaries or just commentary. Just wonder if it's beneficial to kind of deep dive each turn like this, or after a while it just gets old. So for the listener, but for those people, they've probably already dropped this video, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, let's call it there. Wow, a short video, 18 minutes. Just can't stop talking. Anyway, that'll end the turn here. Getting better feel for this. When this one's over, I think I'm going to jump over to the Mediterranean. Unless the expansion comes out. It was supposed to come out this month. And you get a whole bunch of other scenarios, but got to put those airborne and amphibious rules through their paces too. So starting to get the hang of it. So thanks for listening, and we will see you at the next turn for the Germans.